Hello and welcome to the EUC Show. It's your man John here, and this is the only show on the internet devoted to all things EUC, the place where you can come to be both educated and entertained, and who knows, maybe even find yourself along the way. As usual, we start with the news roundup, the part of the show where I bring you EUC headlines from around the world. And I know that this is a light-hearted show filled with fun and laughter, but I have to start with this serious and sad story from local press in Bedfordshire here in the UK. News was released this week of the death of an 88-year-old pedestrian who was in a collision with somebody riding an EUC on the pavement. Story of the actual incident is limited, with the news report instead focusing on the details of the elderly gentleman who sadly died. This is a sobering reminder of the dangers associated with riding an EUC, and not just to ourselves but to those around us too. I don't have any more information about what happened in this case, but I just encourage everyone to ride in a way that reduces the dangers and never ride at speed on public footpaths. A more positive story was released from Italy, where EUCs were being trialled for the use by mountain rescue teams. Wait, what? No, you heard me correctly. These photos show riders using EUCs to access difficult to reach areas. Well, this makes perfect sense to me. We all know what a group ride out in the mountains is going to look like. They will be heading up to attend to someone with hypothermia and coming down with 3 additional broken ankles and a couple of compound fractures. And this photo seems to show how EUCs are being tested for use on snow slopes. No, you still heard me correctly. What could possibly go wrong here? This guy has been tethered to the chap behind him, either to prevent him from sliding over the cliff edge in the likely event of an off, or to make sure his mate is dragged over into oblivion with him. And when that didn't seem crazy enough, he appears to have loosely strapped an ice pick onto his hip. I think they are wearing bright red clothes so that the inevitable arterial pumps of blood won't really ruin their tops. If I was a betting man, I would place a fairly confident bet that at some point soon this individual is going to be airlifted to hospital to have an ice pick surgically removed from his rear end. Now it's time for Riders and Sliders. Here's where I show you some footage of people showing off their skills or getting senselessly hurt. And this time I want to share this guy with you. His name is Daniele Contino from Italy, a monowheel act performer. And he's not bad. He spins around on one leg so fast it's a wonder he doesn't screw himself into the ground. I spotted him this week doing this impressive little trick, standing both feet on one footplate. Then I checked him out a bit further and found out he has an official Guinness World Record for riding an EUC while juggling. I'm not sure if I feel impressed or a bit sad that this reveals the sort of thing that world records are given out for these days. When I was a kid, it used to be for the tallest man or the fattest courgette, or the most convictions given to a 1970s popular entertainer. I'm surprised they didn't give one to his mate for the world record for riding a unicycle, filming somebody riding a unicycle while juggling. You realise I'm saying all this out of jealousy, right? Then we have this chap, Garrett Taylor, who name-checked me in his YouTube video, saying that I had inspired him. Let me pause for a moment to let that sink in and to allow the laughter to subside. A long time ago I posted a video suggesting that people should be proficient in some basic skills before venturing out into public places on EUCs. Here is Garrett practicing some of those skills. He has set out an obstacle course and he's weaving around practicing and performing his art. Great job. Just needs to work on the stopping now.
Yeah.
And I know you're all really just watching this for the big crashes, you sick, sad individuals. So here you go. Here we see someone who clearly gets carried away at high speed and is enjoying himself so much he decides to throw in a few salsa moves in the hope that he will get carried away to hospital. Despite wearing what looks like a parachute on his back, he wasn't at the correct altitude to deploy it. So he just jumps up, pretending to his mates that he hasn't been badly hurt, while his knees have been twisted round to the back of his legs. And here's the part of the show where I trawl through social media, bringing you the best and often the worst of what it has to offer. To kick us off, let's take a look at what can happen when an electric battery ignites and how to respond. Here we see a fine figure of a man in his swim shorts minding his own business when what looks like a cross between a moped and a mobility scooter decides to kill itself and take the rest of the house down with it. First of all, he runs in to take a closer look and immediately gets his chest hair singed to nothing, so he backs off. And then he runs in, arse first, like a small child sliding on his knees at a wedding. He seems to throw a grenade on the fire and then tries to escape using what looks like the breaststroke. On one of the forums, someone shared this new invention aimed at EUC riders. I'm not sure if this is real or not, but someone seems to have invented a new shoulder-mounted mirror. It's either a dental device or a practical joke, but either way, it reminded me of some crude hands-free devices that people made for mobile phones before Bluetooth was a thing. And now it's time for Readers' Lives. This is the point where I read out some of the comments I've received on my recent videos. First shout out goes to Ross Kellen, who chipped in with a clear and easy to understand explanation of what a stator slip is, referring to the previous episode and my report on the concerns for the T4. He helpfully clarifies, stator slip, the stator, the former with all the coils of copper wire on it within the motor, is pressed or glue fitted onto the hub. The torque produced between the stator and the magnets is bored now. And here we have Leanthal commenting on one of my videos in which I reviewed the Fingerdinger.
And let's just talk about the name, the Fingerdinger. Unusual one. I've decided just to approach a member of the public and ask them what they think about the name, the Fingerdinger. Hello. Excuse me, could I interest you in a Fingerdinger?
He says, Fingerdinger is for king songs and in motions. If you are a Gotway fanatic, you have to have a train horn. I'm not sure if he is insulting the Fingerdinger or Gotway riders. Either way, could you imagine silently creeping up on someone on an EUC and then blasting them with a train horn? No. Now that's a thought I can't get out of my head. Well, that's it. If you've enjoyed it, do me a favour, tickle the like button as if you were caressing your partner and share it with your mates. The video, not your partner. This channel is the best kept secret on YouTube, so help me out and share it with your mates. Again, the video, not your partner. Love you, bye!